Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, so happy Saturday. I hope you will continue to pray for me by singing along with me, gesturing at your screen, and leaving a dislike on my video. Let's do it again. I'm doing this symbol because I'll show you why in a second, but my this is what my life feels like at the moment. Bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm having a mixed bag in my life. As you guys have been following, I've been doing a lot of art projects as of late. But it's a bittersweet thing. And part of the reason I've been doing all this art binging is that I've been very sad about my state of um, affairs with my current life and work and social life. So this is Apache Junction, Arizona, where I took some gigs at Central Arizona College. For the most part, I like my work. What I don't like is, I'll let you Google map this, but look at where Apache Junction is and look at where the city is. And all my social activities are over there. I teach remotely at Rio Salado, but I still have to commute there from time to time for various events and meetings and my social life. On top of that, I've been very stingy, and for good reason, actually. Yesterday, I get a very frightening message on my phone. My landlord was really upset about the state that I left her home in. I've been very busy with my art. Nothing dirty. Art strewn around the house. I was setting up my new computer. This is the new webcam, and you can probably see the quality is a whole lot better. She was upset, and she sent a number of text messages. And I learned that when somebody is going crazy over a bunch of nothing, just talk like it's a bunch of nothing. Be human, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing this out, right? I used to get really riled up. But you know why I can handle that nowadays? Because I have money in my bank account. If something were to go awry and I have to spend the night in an Airbnb or a hotel, I can do that comfortably, right? And I really love that, right? And unfortunately, I learned the hard way that peace and freedom only come to those who have resources, right? And similarly, when something happens at work, right? The other day, I opened my email and I get a dozen emails from my students complaining about some issue. They were having difficulty logging into the not my doing, but they complained to me first, right? Because I'm the professor. My dean was upset about something that about my I was eating something at the faculty lounge, and he was upset about that. And it didn't seem to bother me, right? If I have to lose the contract for the rest of the semester, I can negotiate something else for the spring. I got money, and that was good. It allowed me to sail right past those two barriers in my life. Those two could have taken me down when I first moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and so like I didn't have the right home to live in. I didn't have money in my bank account. I had just left a toxic job. And then I landed another toxic job, right? Any of those two things could have taken me down, right? They could have, I don't know, sent me to a mental hospital. They could have cost me my job. They could have made me embarrass myself. They could have made me check out of the home altogether because I was scared. You get the idea. I really love this. But unfortunately, it comes at a huge expense. I don't have a social life. Yesterday, I gave up on trying to go to a meetup event because meetup.com now charges a fee just to be able to send messages to people, right? I think it was this past week or 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to do that because I want to have the freedom with my colleague or my boss or my landlord or things that might be a barrier to me, right? I look at next semester's contracts and I realize that they might be canceled and I signed up for more than I want. But you know what? If I end up getting so much work, I'm just gonna say I had an emergency, right? I can afford to be human, right? Maybe it might burn a bridge, right? If I bail out of one of those contracts, right? But you know what? I can afford that now, and I really love that feeling. There's no feeling like that. But unfortunately, what does it come at the cost of? It comes at the cost of I just replaced my computer. The last computer I've been using since Obama was president, if you can believe that. And it comes at the cost. I'm driving a Kia Forte that has 180,000 miles. And you know what? I was going to replace it this December, but I just had to replace the battery, and I hate for that to go to waste now, right? And that's the kind of stuff that it comes at the cost at. What else has been going on? No social life. A lot of times. Yesterday, I had a little bit of a meltdown because of how far I had to drive for one of the meetups. But you know what? I went there and I had a good conversation with somebody. And then I come home and I realize I can't message them because of the cost on meetup.com. So I went to sleep. When I went to sleep last night, I prayed to God that when I wake up tomorrow and I go take my walk, because today it's what, 80 degrees, 70 degrees. It was really nice and comfortable here. We've been having 110-degree days for 4 months, 5 months probably, and finally we get a 75-degree day. And I was telling God, God, tomorrow when I go for a walk, just let me find something. Maybe I'm walking down the road and I find a 100-ounce gold nugget or something like that. Right? I would really love to do that because there's a Buddha that I want to make out of gold, and I've been watching a lot of videos about how to melt gold, and maybe I wouldn't be able to do it with a gold nugget because you also have to refine it, right? I only see videos where people melt 24 karat gold, right? Tomorrow when I go for a walk, maybe I'll find some gold, maybe I'll find an artifact, maybe a meteor made of some element that hasn't been discovered here on Earth will fall at my feet. Hopefully it's something safe to touch, right? And I can just pick it up and then I can have all these things, right? Because a lot of the great things in our life are stuck behind a paywall, right? The freedom with seeing an angry message on my phone and being able to react rationally to it. You need money to be able to do that, right? If I didn't have money to, it's weird. When I'm talking to my landlord about these, I wouldn't say angry things, but less than pleasant things, right? After we had discussed, I asked my landlord if I could borrow her vacuum, and I cleaned up the place, and it was good. I needed to do that anyway. When I cleaned up the home, I found a few things that I had misplaced anyway. It wasn't the end of the world, but that was because push comes to shove, I could walk out of there and go into a hotel, right? If I didn't have that lifeline behind me, I don't think yesterday's conversation would have played the way that it did. I really like that. I really do. When my boss was complaining about me eating sushi in the office, and I realized that, oh my God, I could quit this contract. In fact, if I quit the contract, I could move out of Apache Junction. When I thought of it that way, the conversation with the boss changed very differently in my mind, at least. I really love that. So I'm making a new goal. Next week is Evelina Falenta's 45th birthday. I'm making it a goal and she's an artist as well, right, with other stuff, right? I'm making it a goal that by the time she turns 50, 2029, or October 24, 2029, I want to make six figures with my art. I gotta be clear. Six figures in today's terms in my art, right? And that's my new goal, right? I made my other goal with art, so I'm hoping to make this one as well. And it would bring me a lot of peace and freedom and connectivity and social life. And today, if I made six figures, I don't think I would live in Apache Junction anymore, which is tricky because I really love the students. I probably still commute to work here in Apache Junction, but I wouldn't live here. I'd live in Phoenix, or Tempe at least, right? All of my social activity is there. Kind of tricky because I don't like early mornings, and part of the reason I lived here is part of the reason, not all of it, but is that my class starts at 10 o'clock. I'd have to wake up at 8 over there. But you know what? if I were making six figures, there are things that I could do to compensate for that, right? Certainly, I wouldn't have to cook for myself nearly as much. I would network more with people. I'd sign up for Meetup.com, even if I have to pay $100 a month. I would, you get the idea, right? Might even take a Waymo here, right? All right, new goal for 2024, Evelina Valenta's 50th birthday. I made a couple goals regarding important celebrity birthdays, and I made those, so that was good. I was we were in lockdown in 2020 when I wrote the number one AI for the game of backgammon. At the time, I was a big fan from Polish Idol season one winner Alicia Janazzi, and she turned 35 on June 4th, 2020. I thought I I like to daydream. I don't wish bad things for her, but I thought the lockdown and she and her husband being forced together might cause some shakiness in the relationship. I was daydreaming. I don't wish them bad luck or anything like that. And I was thinking by the end of the lockdown, around June, for her 35th birthday, I'll have the number one AI for the game of backgammon by that point, and I could impress her with it. That was my daydream. You got to remember, I was really depressed at the beginning of the lockdown. And I made the goal. I got the number one AI for backgammon before her birthday. But the AI for the game of backgammon became my new friend, right? Instead of getting to know her, it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. I don't wish her ill relationship. Don't get me wrong. I was just depressed and just daydreaming. We all do that, right? When I was a kid, I used to daydream about, an ancestor of Elisa Genasi and Evelina Valenta, Mary Curry. I was I was upset that she didn't get remarried so she would have been what 36 years old when she was widowed, and she never remarried, or at least in the traditional sense, right? I think she did marry a second time, just not in the way that we thought we view marriage, right? But I was upset that she didn't get remarried. It was like she was really selfish with her body, with her good mind and all that. And so I daydreamed that one day we would discover time travel, right? Maybe one of her discoveries will lead to the machine for time travel, right? Those are pretty related concepts. And I would go back in time so she could have somebody to be with, right? And I don't feel that way anymore because I think she had a very happy second marriage now. All right. This is the Peter Unsure Show. Bum 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 bum.